Jessica Biel doesn't kidnap children.
No, Jessica Biel doesn't kidnap children.
Doesn't kidnap children?
Doesn't.
Doesn't.
Doesn't?
Doesn't?
Why do you keep doing it like that?
Doing what like what?
You know what you're doing. I loved you on Seventh Heaven, Jessica.
Now for our feature presentation.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of How About This Movie? And as you can tell, it's spooky time. So all through the month of October we're going to be doing scary movies, Halloween movies, terrible movies. Sorry in advance, don't watch them. Today we're doing a terrible movie, Tall Man, 2012, starring Jessica Biel. And she's already shaking her head, so you know it's going to be a fucking good one. First thing I said, we started the movie, you know you're in trouble if you don't recognize the production companies. It's not always true. It's an unfair shot to take, but boy were we in trouble. Boy did we not recognize the production companies. Jessica Biel, star of the movie.
Yep.
Ex-wife of Mr. Peanut Butter.
Exactly. Little known fact. Is there a script she'll say no to?
Seeing this movie? Answer? No.
Yeah. I don't know anyone else in this movie. A lot of familiar faces, but I couldn't put a name to them. I couldn't tell you anything else they'd done.
I think the only person I've actually seen is Stephen McHattie, and I didn't even know who the fuck that was when I heard his name. So.
Yeah.
Who did he play in the movie?
He played the detective guy.
Oh, the creepy looking guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure her husband in the movie was the rich kidnapper dad in White Chicks.
William B. Davis.
I think so. So, I mean, a trend. He kidnaps people. Probably keep an eye on that.
Big red flag.
Big red flag. I have the director as Pascal, French name that I would absolutely butcher. Laugier.
Laugier? My
Sure.
French is awful as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try and disrespect the guy's name. Pascal, your movie was not very good, but...
Your movie was awful, Pascal.
I have my
It
note,
was rough.
mostly directs foreign films. Because he's foreign, probably makes a lot of the same, judging by the name and the title of the movies, French Canadian. I almost said French Canada. French Canadian or just straight up French. So I've never seen any of his other work, so I didn't take anything down.
Yeah.
Nothing of note for me.
It was a rough movie to get through. Usually horror movies or scary movies, my anxiety gets crazy. I get uncomfortable. I complain about it a lot.
It's a lot of fun.
In this movie, I don't think there was any sort of anxiety that I got. There was times I got really tense. There was that chase scene when she was running after her son and the person that was taking her son. And that was exciting, but not scary.
And I don't know that The Tall Man was ever marketed as a horror film. I mean, I think it was more of a thriller, suspense kind of movie. Basically, the plot of the story is Jessica Biel's son is kidnapped, and then it turns out that the kid is not her kid, and she's a kidnapper.
And it's a trend going out through the whole town. The town is dying. Kids are disappearing. They're blaming it on some sort of scary entity that the town has named.
The Tall Man.
Mm-hmm.
Super scary. Super creepy.
Side note, Tyson's tall. Not all tall people kidnap, is what I'm trying to say.
It's pretty insensitive, actually.
Yeah.
I've hardly ever kidnapped.
Yeah.
Hardly ever. I'd say less than one time I've kidnapped.
Yeah. So,
very insensitive to imply that tall people kidnap.
We don't respect broad generalizations on the show, is basically what we wanted to come out on the top and let you guys know. But it's art, and we're not going to bash it for that. So we're gonna continue to talk about this movie. You don't really watch it. It just kind of happens to you.
It's not something you can expect, really. You go in saying yes to one thing, and a complete other thing just comes out.
I really feel like they tried to be like, ooh, look over here, misdirection. This is the thing. No, it's this. But they kind of ruined it because they hold your hand through the whole thing.
Yeah. You see the twist coming before they even set up the twist.
Yeah.
And they have like 8 twists in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like twice as much as they actually have. But still, I felt like an exaggerated number was befitting this fucking terrible movie.
There was a whole stretch of movie I was like, I understand what they're saying, but this is not what I expected, and I don't know if I like where it's going.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's to be noted, I've seen the movie and remembered it. Tyson has seen the movie and did not remember it. And Carly had never seen the movie. I did not have a distinct advantage. They knew what was happening the whole time.
I would like to forget that I saw this movie again.
Give it another 6 years and maybe you will. Because, I mean, you didn't remember when we started it. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll forget it.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
It'll just escape your memory once more. It'll be like another trauma.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that the movie has no redeeming qualities. I do think that the sacrifices that Jessica Biel makes at the end and saving children is, and it's a redeemable character or a redeemable quality, excuse me, but why do you get to decide that they'd be better off without their parents?
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like they were trying to do something, and I couldn't get with it. I was not.
The social commentary on the system that's in place for children?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird because it started out as like implied ghost movie,
Yeah, like.
And then it turned into like some weird like crime drama type deal. And then it turned into some long-winded political statement.
There was also like a conspiracy feeling once like she showed up all beaten and the town, everybody knew what was going on but her. It's like a whole town conspiracy thrown in there.
Yeah.
And it was a wild ride.
Yeah, and that was before the reveal. So that was all trying to get the viewer to think that this big who's-he what's-it's going to happen, or this big conspiracy with the town, like you're saying. But really, it's just some normal shit that the town did whenever someone got kidnapped. Set up an altar and prayed for the kid that had been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that it was.
And then the town believed the original mom saying that, no, like, this bitch has my child, and if she shows up, you know why, and then they go after her.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a stretch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was very much a stretch.
I don't see a whole town going for this elaborate plan when they can just confront her. Like, yo, you got this kid? Do you have this kid?
The other thing...
Do you have a kid?
I don't. The other thing, she says, I'm going to go get my kid back. I'll meet you here. If she shows up beaten and bloodied, she had my kid. That woman was clearly a psycho. She could have just beaten Jessica Biel's character and drug her into the street and just thought that Jessica Biel had her kid, because she was clearly off her rocker. So everyone immediately believed that Jessica Biel had the kid just because she showed up beaten. That is not evidence at all. It means nothing.
Yeah, it didn't say anything because like, it wasn't her kid, so she couldn't be like, somebody stole my child.
Yeah.
All of this stuff because
Yeah.
she didn't have one.
It's flimsy.
Yep.
It's a flimsy plot.
Now, this isn't the worst movie I've ever seen. Probably not even close to the worst movie I've ever seen. However, still a pile of garbage.
You know, honestly, this might be the worst movie I've ever seen. And I don't mean that in such a negative way, but I tend to avoid shitty movies. I've gotten lucky. I've never really stumbled across a shitty movie on accident. If it seems shitty, I'd turn it off. So this might be the worst movie I've ever seen. But it's still not the worst movie ever made. Not by a long shot.
Yeah.
It's just not very good. And I've had a good luck with avoiding piles of shit.
I think there's a lot of interpretation on what you consider a shitty movie. There's lots of movies that I have watched that Daxton enjoys that I would categorize as shittier than this movie.
Well, that is because she doesn't like good movies. This is actually probably her favorite movie.
Well, movies are an art medium.
Yeah, it's
it's completely subjective. However, there are different like things you can give merit to every movie to like for them to be generally good.
Yeah.
You know, objectively good.
A good plot.
Yeah. Which
acted
this didn't
well.
have. This had mediocre acting.
Script
is awful.
is terribly written.
The cinematography was okay.
Yeah.
At least according to the people of Canada.
But the giant 3D opening sequence with the credits,
Yeah.
those are so cheesy, and I love those. Those are my favorite.
I was gonna say
Those would have been better if you could read some of them.
Yeah, there was a lot that was
Yeah.
just like, huh?
Yeah.
Because they had them like tilted and like going with the landscape.
And blended into the landscape.
They're
slightly.
always so cheesy. It's great.
It's always in over-the-top ass movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to be super epic. We need super epic credits.
I really like that too. I love super over the top movies. They're super fun to watch.
Can't help it.
So it's a kidnapping movie.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they are talking about it. But the real storyline doesn't come in until 25 minutes into the movie. Yeah. There's a lot of exposition. Most of it's actually pretty nice, but
like the first 15 minutes is just rapid fire exposition.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like too much exposition
like with
can be kind
the voiceover
of
with the mute
Yes,
chick? Okay.
yeah, voiceover with the mute chick and just how they were talking to each other.
Anyway, 25 minutes in is when the story of this movie starts. There's 15 minutes of exposition. What the fuck is going on?
They're telling you in the first 25 minutes.
No, I don't mean what is going on in the movie. Who's making that decision? It's 25 minutes. 25 minutes in is when the movie starts. There's 15 minutes of exposition and 10 minutes of bullshit. What the fuck, Pascal?
Yeah.
Yeah. The opening scene where, because Jessica Biel's a nurse.
Yeah.
And her husband was a doctor, and the husband died. And in the opening sequence, she helps deliver a baby to the family that we see in the movie. But
The only family.
what happened? Do we see that baby at all later on?
Yes.
I think we see it once.
We see it
Maybe
all
twice.
We see it all during the beginning stuff where that's the focal point of the main of the first 10 minutes or whatever. And then when at the very end, when the mute chick has been kidnapped and is giving the final voiceover about her three mothers, the other daughter and her baby are back.
Okay. I think the only reason they have that opening sequence is to establish that the parents are bad.
Yeah.
That's it.
And also that Jessica Biel's character has medical experience.
Yep.
Basically it.
And that she cares.
And that she cares.
They want you to know that parents are evil and only Jessica Biel cares about your children.
Yep. She knows what is best for all children.
Carly's doing all sorts of air quotes over here. That's to let you know that The husband's not dead. The kid's not hers. The kid's not being kidnapped from her because it's going back to his mother. Just get that all out of the way.
In the movie, when they're in her house, when everything's going down, you get to see when she takes a nap, just in the middle of the town.
Middle of the fucking mob attacking her house.
They're banging at the door that night.
And no one gets in.
Yeah.
Not until the next morning. But they're banging at her door, and she's like, you know what? I'm kind of sleepy. Takes a nap. We see all the pictures of her and her husband in, like...
Africa.
Like...
The Philippines. Somewhere. I don't want to generalize.
Towns that do have conditions that the children would probably be better off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Where you can just guess that's where the whole thing started.
Yep.
Just Underground Railroad, those children, other places. And it's just crazy that this whole, like, conspiracy that they tried to build of a system of people trafficking children, but not for bad.
That's what I was going to say next, was that there's a whole secret society of children kidnappers.
No.
But not for
bad.
Not for the bad trafficking for children things.
No,
they're taking kids from less well-off families and giving them to rich families.
For money.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the dude didn't take the money.
But they usually do it for money.
The rich person wanted to offer money. The man turned it down because that's what they don't do it for the money. They do it for the protection of the kids.
They do it because they believe in, like...
Yeah. They don't do it for the money. But they get people that offer them money, but they don't do it for the money. They do it because they feel it's what's right.
Yeah. They work hard for the money.
I would just like to say, without getting too personal, I grew up pretty poor, and I still would have been pissed off if they took me from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just putting that out there.
Were you in a dying town?
No.
Was your mom's boyfriend slapping her around?
Probably.
Oh.
I wasn't there. If I had to guess, I would assume yes. But I don't know. I grew up with my dad. You guys both know that. Yeah. So why are you asking me about my mother?
Well, is Joe Dale Furlan mute in your poor town?
I did not know any mutes in my poor town. Any other questions?
Were there scary entities in your town?
No.
What's the square root of 534?
Don't know.
Oh, you're no help.
Anything else?
How's he supposed to finish his homework now?
Break out a calculator. That's right, I answered your question. Suck it. Are we good here? Well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys.
Yeah, budget was estimated $18.2 million, which seems ridiculous.
Yeah, what did they spend it on?
Jessica Biel.
Right?
Credits, Jessica Biel, and that one scene where they kind of flipped a van.
Yeah, that was probably pretty expensive. Dude, that dog fucked Jessica Biel up.
Oh, yeah.
She was all bit to shit and fucking infected, like, immediately.
How did she not lose her leg at the end of that fucking movie?
Yeah, because she fell in that, like, shit pond.
And it was immediately gooey.
Yeah. She would have definitely developed sepsis. Like, they talk about at the end how she'll never see the light of day again. Yeah, because she's fucking dead.
Yeah.
She is 100% dead. They flipped that fucking van. Not a single gosh darn one of them was wearing a seatbelt. That child weighed 30 pounds in a van that was fucking rolled.
Also, the dog was fine, too.
Yeah. Not a single person would have gotten out of that van alive.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Well, it did flip super slowly.
They were going like 80 miles an hour.
I know, and then it went...
I don't care, dude. They all would have died and you fucking know it.
In a real 80-mile-an-hour crash in that van?
With a person that doesn't know how the brakes work?
Yeah.
Because they're just going 80 miles an hour, fighting with somebody that's coming out from behind you, but doesn't think to slow the vehicle down.
Nope. Not at all. She would have died, you guys. They would all be dead.
It would have been the end of the movie, right?
It would have been a very, very short movie. And I know we've moved on past banter, but why the fuck was Mutie the fucking silent one out there at 3 a.m. on her damn bicycle.
Because the movie doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay.
They made a lot of terrible decisions just to make their plot work.
Well, they discovered later in the movie that she wanted to get taken. She was like, I am done with my mom and her boyfriend and
That doesn't
her
explain why
fathering
she was...
my sister's child and all of that stuff.
Then why wasn't she walking around in the woods?
To try and find the tall man to get taken.
No, why
But the
wasn't
tall man
she
was in
walking
the
around in the
woods.
woods? She was riding her
Yeah.
bike down the main highway of this shithole town.
Yeah.
Or by the forest trying to find somebody.
Why doesn't she take her rescue into her own hands, like a 21st century woman, and ride her bike the fuck out of town?
She had the means.
You know what else she could do? Ride her bike to the nearest police station and be like, hey, my mom's boyfriend hits me, and he molested my sister. I would like to be placed in Child Protective Services. Except she couldn't say it. She'd have to write it down because she's a mute.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say,
She couldn't say
it.
shit.
but she could write it down.
Like, I declare bankruptcy. Don't want to live with my parents anymore.
Bankruptcy!
Yeah. Budget, $18.2 million. Grossed, about $5 million.
It's a Canadian
Not
film.
surprised. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a lot. I would assume that it's not. I don't think their standards for measuring success of a movie are that different than our own.
Well, losing $13 million, never a good thing.
Yeah. It's a good point. I didn't think about it like that. Smart. Smart. Yeah, you're right. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. Favorite scenes?
I'd have to probably go with one of the scenes that we made fun of the most, probably, which there was a lot.
Yeah.
The fuck was it that we had that super big laugh at? I don't remember. It's been a few days since we watched it. I don't have a favorite scene. How about that?
Yeah.
I liked when she fell into the quicksand.
That was funny because we were just like, quicksand! It's finally as big a problem as we thought it would be. We just need to move to dying towns in Canada to find predatory quicksand. How about you? What was your favorite scene?
The footage they got of all of the children disappearing, but like physically, where they like are walking down the street and then they just like dissipate. Those are great scenes.
Like the actual children in the news story.
Yep. I want to know how the news people got the footage of the children and their actual disappearing.
Paid actors.
That's just deceptive.
That's probably how they would do it.
What's your favorite scene, Daxton?
So, fun facts.
Fun facts. We got some facts and they're fun.
Fun facts.
They're facts and they're fun.
Yeah. Couldn't find any.
No fun facts about
There
this
was
movie?
3 pieces of trivia on IMDb and they were all trash. More
There was
banter. Oh, wait, no.
Nothing fun about this movie.
No, there was nothing fun.
There's lots of fun about this movie.
The
There's
only
nothing
fun that
great
came
about this movie.
The only fun that came from this movie was us making fun of it.
So if you want to watch this movie and have a blast, come over. We'll make some popcorn. We'll sit down and we'll make fun of this movie as a team.
Mhm.
Just
Or-
kidding. I'll never watch this shit again.
Watch it with some friends and lampoon the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's not a very spoopy movie.
It's not spoopy at all, unfortunately. Jessica Biel has a live-in helper that helps her with the transitioning of the children to the tall man, so they can get placed with a new home.
Yep.
She fucking killed herself.
That was brutal.
Seemed excessive because she knew the way out of the house. She could have just gone with David to the tall man, been like, yo, I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's staying, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Very much could be a possibility.
But instead decided to kill herself. So that seemed excessive. I'm not going to lie.
Very dramatic.
Yeah. when the cops were walking Jessica Biel out of the house, did either of you guys notice that very fucking intentional, like, hey, look at your friend, she killed herself? It was like, oh, let's go this way. Like, no, we didn't have to go this way. What do you mean? Jessica Biel at the end is being interviewed by one of the mothers. The only mother in the movie you see. Mm-hmm. Besides the other mother. So...
one of the mother of the kids that were taken.
Yeah, thank you. I had kind of talked my way into a corner there. And she's asking where are the kids, etc., etc. Normal things you'd ask when your child was missing.
Yep. Where are their bodies? Are they alive?
Are they alive? Are they dead? And Jessica says that she killed all the kids. Which sucks. You know, she really feels the pain in that moment of having to tell people that their kids are dead. But she knows that if they think there's any hope that they're alive, they won't stop looking. So, she really did make a great sacrifice for this cause she believes so strongly in. Even if it's kind of crazy. You guys have anything else you'd like to add? It's a quick podcast, but I mean, the only thing we would have left to do is just sit here and drag this fucking movie. So, I mean, I don't think anyone involved deserves that. I do. No, I mean, involved. Did you work on the project?
I didn't.
That's what I mean. Oh, you do think.
I do think.
Okay, yeah. It took me a second. I'm a little slow. But we got there together.
I do think that the people who made this movie deserve to know they made a shitty movie.
I think we should do scores out of 13.
Out of 13?
Because it's spoopy?
Yeah. All Halloween.
That means I gotta...
all 31 days of Halloween.
Do some math.
What?
To convert from the...
Oh, out of 10?
0 out of 10 and still be 0 out of 13.
True. I wasn't going to give it a 0. Like I said, not the worst movie I've ever seen.
Final thoughts and reviews, and would you recommend it? Final thoughts, score out of 13, because 13 is a spoopier number than 10. And would you recommend this movie to a friend? I'm dizzy. Carly.
I think I'm going to go 4 out of 13. Final thoughts, it was an experience I'm not sad that I had to take part in. I'm glad that
I disagree.
I got to kind of experience it. I would not recommend it, though.
Tyson.
I would give this a perfect 13 out of 13. Just kidding. I would also give it a 4 out of 13. It was an awful movie. I audibly did the several times during it.
Yep.
It was awful. If you watch it alone, you might hurt somebody. Just watch it with a friend if you're going to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to treat this movie like autoerotic asphyxiation. You got to have a spotter. It's tough to get through. I'm not so high on it, you guys. I can't give it such a high score. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 13. It's not fun to watch. Like, if I was watching this by myself, I probably would have shut it off and lied to you guys and said I watched it. Because I've already seen it. That's right. I saw it, hated it, and put myself through it again. Commitment.
Do it for the pod.
Don't watch this movie. If you do, you have to do it like we did. Just sit there and shit on it the whole time. Otherwise, it's just not any fun.
This is our first bad movie review.
Yeah. I was looking at our list of spoopy movies, Halloween movies, etc. I expect there to be a lot more.
At least the ones that are bad on our spooky movie list are fun to watch. This one wasn't.
I also think that we're gonna finally have some differing opinions.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Vastly differing. I mean, we're all basically on the same page with everything we've watched to date. But I think that as we go through the month of October, we're just gonna have some opinions.
Yeah. We're going into like a more personalized territory.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here, so.
People take scary movies and their favorite scary movies to heart so much.
Just remember, no matter what you like, we like you.
Mm-hmm. Except you, Dave.
Yep. He's an asshole.
God damn it.
I don't know a Dave.
I wasn't even going to acknowledge Dave, but since you brought it up.
Actually, I do know a Dave, and he's cool.
I don't know.
Sorry, Dave.
Dave Hill.
Who?
I
Oh,
remember.
yep.
If you want to sponsor us, we're open to it. You know how to get a hold of me.
If you see this podcast, I'll be fucking mind blown. If you see this podcast, the first sponsorship is free.
It's true.
If I have to tell you about it, that doesn't count. That's it. We're done. We're going to be doing shit like this all October.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we're not going to be watching such terrible, terrible movies. But who knows? We'll see. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Write it down. Write it down. Subscribe. Notification bell. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Blowjob.
That was good. Like,
Spacing?
no, I was trying to think of the word.
The comedic timing.
No, subliminal. That was good. Subliminal. Like, they'll hear, like, follow us on all the social medias, and then they'll hear blowjob, and they're like, okay, I have to follow those. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
jecll Studios, JECLL Studios. Bye. Just kidding. Next time, Jacob's Ladder. Plug alert! Ba-ba-ba-ba!
Shameless self-promotion.
Tyson and I have started officially recording Let's Plays. I don't think we've actually talked about it on the podcast before, but we are going to finally get gaming content going. I believe that's going to be on another channel, but we'll have links for you guys.
More scary content.
Yep. October, so it's all spoopy. It's scary as shit, you guys. Yeah, gaming content and how about this movie?
Eventually there will be links places.
Yep. All sorts of fun shit coming.
Right here.
More stuff coming down the pipeline as well, but
right here. No.
we do for sure have how about this movie and gaming content. Thank you. And as always, I have nothing for this fucking movie. Sue over here, Jessica Biel is a fine woman, and as far as I know, she does not kidnap children. That's all I'll say.
You can never be too careful.
With anyone, not just Jessica Biel. Just don't only blame tall men. That's still the crux.
The moral of the story is don't blame tall men for kidnapping children. Blame Jessica Biel.
And the husband.
And the husband.
Because he kidnaps in 2 movies.